Hey guys, another week of unfortunately stay-at-home solo training for our jiu-jitsu classes. So Mike and I are here to give you a few more drills for this week. And first thing we're going to do, I presume you warmed up a little bit and all the standard caveats before. Watch your airspace, make sure you got plenty of space. If what we're doing doesn't sit well with part of your body on a hardwood floor or whatever, by all means modify or skip it, or do whatever you got to do. But we've been doing some basic warm-up type of exercises that we normally do, but are still core and movements that we do within the game. So we're going to build or make some of these a little more compound tonight. So one of the first ones, obviously, we have our basic shrimp, where we shrimp this way and then the other way, and then we get our belly down. So where I come up, I swivel under and I come down. So all you're going to do now is you're going to kind of link those two movements together. So I'm going to do my shrimp, and then from my shrimp I'm going to go belly down, and I'm going to do reverse. And for the sake of the drill, we'll just go in a circle. So now I'm going to bring my bottom leg back through, almost more like a sit out, which you also have done. And I'm going to bring my feet back in front of me like so. And then I can lay back down. And I can go the other way. Shrimp, belly down, sit out low, sit through. And I'm basically not really using my arms at all, except for a plank when I go belly down. I use momentum to sit through.
Okay, and then we were also taking a look at, we looked at earlier doing the forward roll and the back roll, right? We had those in different positions. Even from here, you're doing the forward roll coming through, and then you just reverse it, do the back roll. So now we're going to kind of put those two again together in a way. So what you're going to have is you're going to go in and do your back roll with a sprawl. So your feet are going to come out. So I went over this shoulder, so I'm going to turn. And again, I'm not, just like Brandon mentioned, I'm not using my arms. Putting this down, bringing my hips up, coming back over. Okay? So I go back over that same side with a sprawl again, bringing it through, turning my head the other way, using my legs and my hips to lift, and then coming back out. And again, I'm not using my arms, so I'm not trying to sit back, use the hands, just laying back down, rolling over and having the sprawl, turning the head, lifting the body, coming back through. So you're going to get a lot of workout again in your core, and you're going to have a lot of fundamentals working on that forward roll and the back roll, being able to get those down, and those are going to be great things to be able to have just from a fundamental standpoint. It's very basic safety. It's one of the first things that we show in almost every white belt class, at least being kind of inverting, getting used to your hips over your head. Yep. Lots of good motion there. Yep. Okay, so practice those.
Okay, so one of the other ones that we have not done, we haven't shown in the videos to do at home, are your basic squids, which what we call them, we have shrimps. So we also call these squids for the kids. Basically, it's like standing up in base, but I'm not going to actually get up. But I still use opposite hand, opposite foot, and I swivel my hips back underneath as I move away. So the important thing that I want to make sure I do is that I'm moving the direction my butt is facing this way, here. So a lot of people push with the leg and go this way towards the direction they are facing. I want to be moving away from the direction that I'm facing. Right? So from a jiu-jitsu context, what we talk about is he's trying to get to my back. Right? I'm here, he's trying to get around here. So I want to scoot this way to keep him in front of me, this way, right? So he doesn't get around the corner. So if I shrimp the other way, that really doesn't help me at all. It gives me the back. So I might be having to move to keep him in front of me, or from a bigger self-defense standpoint, right, this is a very important component that buys me more time to be able to stand up in base. So if he's already on top of me and I'm not going to be able to stand up and base. And I've shared videos to like our Facebook pages before where people with guys with knives or meat cleavers coming down, security video coming down, and this guy can't get up without taking a beating, right? Or getting stabbed in the neck because they couldn't stand up and base properly, right? So the shrimp gives me more space to possibly be able to scramble back up off the ground, right? Now I might not still be able to get up. He's here, I've got to be moving here, I've got to be shrimping to buy me time to react to what's going on. It's a way I can retreat. I just made that hard for our camera woman there to do that. Okay, but you see the point. I got to be able to move on the ground sometimes to be able to react to what's going on, to buy me time. Now, at some point then, maybe I don't even stand up and base, maybe I end up getting a hold of something, then I can control, I turn into a single, like who knows, right? But I got to be able to buy time to do that. So the squid is a very important way that I also kind of evade or move on the ground against a standing opponent. Okay? I can also move forward, so I use heel pulls. So we had our shrimp, we had our reverse shrimp, so we have a squid. I don't know what there really is a reverse squid, but basically I pull forward the same way, right? So I might need to be moving away. There might be a time where then I see my chance to actually come forward and close the distance, okay? So, watch your airspace. You probably don't have a lot of time to do, or a space to move a couple before you have to turn around and go the other way, but make sure you get some squids in.
All right, guys, so another one we're going to do is we're going to show between Brandon and I so that you can actually have the context of how this actually works, and then we'll work in with a gi that no one's in so that you can run this as a solo drill. But some spider guards, so we're going to do some spider guard and lasso guard, okay? Especially if the person's up, you're going to catch the sleeves with the fingers curled in, so it kind of makes this false cuff, because you can't have thumbs in from a tournament standpoint, that's illegal. So this is fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have my feet like towards his biceps, like around the inside of his elbows, and I'm going to push one. I'm pulling with that same side. I'm still pulling here, but I'm kind of getting this angle where I'm actually starting to turn him. Okay, and when I switch to the other side, I switch to the other side, and you start to get this rotation that you're starting to catch in here this way. Because you can see he's off balance. I have both of his hands contained here, so it makes it difficult. If I'm not giving this push-pull, like I'm somehow just sitting like this, yeah, he's going to go ahead and blow through your grips in a hurry, right? So I am pushing him away, but you're also making your angle where that starts to get off balance like that, right? That makes it difficult. Switch to the other side. You can come around, but you're starting to get that push-pull. You can then start to thread in your lasso, which is taking one leg out, it goes over the arm and catches on the back side of the, like on the tricep, or the kind of the back of the armpit, okay? You can unthread this, bring this back, switch to the other side, leg comes out, comes in, catches. You can have a deep one where that's deep in here, pulling, that pulls him forward. You can have one that is a little bit more shallow. Okay, you can play both of those, and they have their different reasons and different purposes that you're going to do. Okay, you can also end up being in situations where you're here like this, that you could be playing in here, and start to thread right through for your triangles. Okay, so you can see that's going to pull them down, and that's going to pull your opponent into you. So look at that from a solo perspective. Again, my grip is going to be 4 fingers in, pulling, so I'm holding the sleeves like this. Okay, so it's not as fun and not as easy, and not having a person, but it still works the same. I still have to get that push-pull, and I don't want to just sit here just totally flat on my back. I want to be able to get a little bit of that angle, a little bit of that turn, right? You're going to be kind of in here forcing it like this. Again, giving that push-pull so you're working a little bit of your grips to make sure that you're getting that pressure push as your leg is pushing back, your arms are pulling back in, so you're getting that stress. Okay, if I want to switch over to the lasso, I can switch to the lasso by taking the leg out. Leg comes underneath, and it can hold here. Bringing your arm and your elbow back in, keeping your grip down in here by your hip so that you're making everything nice and tight, okay? So this This should allow you to then move the person and have a lot of control over them, okay? Now, go for the triangle, you can start to work that. I can be in here this way, where I'm running that spider guard, keeping this foot to the inside here. This one can be up a little bit higher if you want it towards the, up towards the shoulder, and that's okay. All you would do from here is basically take this foot out, bring them through, and then you have your triangle. Right? Again, not as easy to do because there's not a real person inside there, but it does work. Okay? You can be in here playing, you can switch. You're like, I'm gonna go on this side, take this here, just comes through, and catch them that way. So you get the concept, you can play around with that. It just starts to give you the idea when we get back to class and then show that for real, how that's really gonna work for somebody. Practice that, kind of get used to that, get used to the swiveling and having that control with the push-pull.
Okay, so hopefully you have a wall with some open space. There's a couple of wall drills that teach us some mechanics that we use from other movements. So first one is basically to pendulum our legs. A little bit of a good core workout. And so there are different times where I'm using both of my feet together. So basically you're going to be up against the wall. You're going to just bring your hips up. You're not going to roll. You're just going to bring your feet up and you're going to switch to the other side. And this is in the Galgal book to work on things like pendulum sweeps, lifting and turning underneath, using your legs to get some momentum going and things like that. But it's good ab workout, and again, just a basic swing. Okay? I will let Mike do the harder one.
Okay, so the next one is it's essentially an inversion, but you're using the wall to help you have a solid object to be able to invert against. Okay, so this is a little difficult, so that just from the standpoint that I need to talk and face the wall, so I want to make sure that you can understand it. So you're going to face the wall, you're going to lay down, you're going to put your feet about like a 90 degree, something like that. Then you're going to invert, okay? And you're just going to go across the wall. So it looks like this, where you're here this way. So, because the mirrors are on this side and I've got wall space on this side, I'm going to go here. I'm going to invert, but I need to bring my head not on my feet. I need to keep my feet towards the wall, but I need to invert and get here. Then I just undo that. And then you should be right back where you started. And you can just do this for whatever length of wall that you have. Right? Even if you're doing just a short distance. Okay? That just helps with your inversions. It helps you getting used to doing inversions. Everyone freaks out about inversions, but the hardest part of doing an inversion is literally this. That's it. If you can do that, you can do the inversions. The wall just helps you do the inversions. Okay.
Page 131 and 214 and drill to win, guys. All right, so again, taking drills straight out of the book that we should be doing anyway and just doing them solo. Okay, one of your basic white belt sweeps is what we call sit-up sweep. So from guard, my partner's starting to sit back, giving me a little extra space, room to come up. I put my feet on the ground, not like a daisy leaving my legs open, but so still pinching, but I sit up, I get tight, I come up, I post on the hand. The important part is I lift my hips up, and then we talk about our cues. I think about pointing this knee to the floor as I turn my hips belly down, and that brings me up and over. Okay, so one more time with him for the visualization. Okay, we're here. Okay, I come up. I have to trap this arm so he doesn't post with it, but for the sake of what we're doing solo, it's not the end of the world. Okay, we just want to get that hip motion. So without him, we can do the exact same thing. Right, I post or base my feet on the ground. I sit up and post the hand. I'm going to reach over their shoulder and lift the hips as high as I can go. With a person there, you're probably not going to get as high, right? But you're going to get those hips as tight into them as you possibly can. And then I'm going to focus on bringing that knee down to the floor and come over, right? So don't bang your knee onto a hard surface, but you got carpet, right? You should be able to come over a little bit. And again, it's a nice soft turnover, but you can do your sit-up sweep, explode up and turn over. And if you haven't practiced that much, you can rep the mechanics of sit-up sweep a ton. Okay, so another sweep that we don't do as often is what we call star sweep. And sometimes instead of double ankle bump sweep, so we come here, kind of standing, I've opened my guard up or whatever. So for various reasons, right? Maybe the double ankle bump sweep didn't work or whatever, okay? I'll go one side to this side so you can see. I'm gonna scoop the hand, under his ankle, and then I'm going to use this to help me come around. I back roll over the other shoulder, and now I've wrapped around the foot. I lift up on the foot as my ribs kind of give pressure on the shin and leg lock him and sit him out this way. And then I would sit down into reverse queso, of course, right? So going the other way, right? So we're here, I maybe closed guard, he stood up with me, so we're here. I turn, I kick behind him, I grab his foot, okay. I pressure down as I lift up. I pressure down on my ribs as I lift up, right? And then I can turn into him, or maybe I slide right into position from there without that lag force. Okay? So you can practice that motion. Okay? So again, we're here. This is going to be harder because you don't have their leg to be able to hold on to help you with the invert. So you got to spin around, and then basically you've got to do a back roll over from here and come up. So it's just another way to kind of practice your inversion. Okay? So again, you don't have anything to practice holding on to, but I roll, I kick my feet back, and you can imagine holding onto the leg as you do it. Okay? So you can kind of solo the star sweep if you want. And again, it's more practice rolling across your back. Okay, finish out with just some more core ab workout and hip motion. So cross arm bar, like one of the, earlier we did the triangle where I set up, I got the triangle, I twisted my hips, I came up, and I just got in the habit of lifting my hips up to go get them. We use that same motion when we do our arm bars. So cross arm bar from the guard, right? I swivel my hips, I don't stay this way. If they're here, I have to turn to go get them, and then to get that arm bar tighter, I don't just drape my leg over, I lift with my hips to go get them. So we just do that side to side and get the pinch. So I swivel, reach, pinch, back down. Swivel, reach, pinch, back down. Swivel, reach with the hips, bite with the heels. Swivel, reach, pinch. Swivel, reach, pinch. Swivel, reach, pinch. And again, good ab workout if you do it several times in a row. So that's first week, first lesson for this week. But before we sign off, I did want to say one more thing. This is rather unceremonious, the way that we would normally do it. But at the end of the month, we always recognize training anniversaries, and this one is a big one. So Mike here has been with us from the very beginning. 14, 15 years, who's counting? There's a discrepancy in the system, but it's kind of a running joke for us. But 15 years for Mike, not only being here from the start of the program, but obviously taking on a leadership role and taking point on it because he can focus on it more than I can. You know, we wouldn't be here without him. So Mike, we thank you very much for the past 15 years. The time has gone really, really fast.
It has.
And congrats. And I know I speak for all of us that you mean a lot. So thank you very much.